So I want to do a video on like seriously mentally ill psychopath people. So the psychopaths are the like super duper dangerous because they know how to appear very sane, and this is what makes them like not just a narcissist but a psychopath, because they're able to, in my opinion, I don't know what the official definition of psychopath is, but well, I guess this definition of psychopath is they'll like murder someone because they're so, you know, I'm making that up too, look it up. But so they're very beautiful, they're very charming, they know how to you know, they use like Ted Bundy as an example. Like, he really convinced people that he was such a great, beautiful, wonderful guy. He'd get these females to trust him, get them in his car, and then murder them and wear their flesh. I'm just kidding, he didn't do that. Or did he? I don't remember. Whatever. I'm eating and doing a video. Is that inappropriate or what? I have to get things out as they come to me, otherwise I lose them, period. I'm a very ambitious person, and I'm really excited to live life. Oh! And then things get lost and they don't come back for a while. So, you know, we get very charmed by these people and think, wow, like, you really have your shit together. I mean, your poop together. Is it less offensive to say shit or poop? Or both offensive? Your stuff together. There we go. That offended no one. So, I never just, okay, this is a side note and has nothing to do with the video. I don't read the comments. I don't care to be praised, and I don't care to get distracted by criticism. I don't like to be distracted by any variety of those things. I don't give a shit. I mean, I love you guys, and I'm sure the wonderful things you say are great. And I'm sure the criticisms are accurate, but I like to flow without influence of others. So I don't read newspapers. I don't watch TV. I do listen to podcasts, but not really listening. I just like a lot and the noise in the background. So I don't actually really listen to them, and then I lose focus. So, I want my flow to be authentically me and not influenced by any others. Even humans in my life, they're like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess, maybe. I'm not really asking your opinion. And I make them think I'm listening, and I'm not. I mean, I might be listening and considering it as far as like, okay, but then I'm going to observe and decide for myself. I'm not going to just do anything because someone just says it. Seriously, you think I'm gonna like be that stupid? Not you, but them. But I let them think they're manipulating me just because I don't want to argue with their asses and waste my energy on that. I mean, when it comes to my boyfriend, husband thing, he will be my husband. He is my husband in my heart. I do really listen to him, but I don't always follow what he says, because I do trust my own inner guidance. However, I do follow what he says more than with anyone else. And I'm definitely going to listen to him far more now than ever before, because I'm in the middle of a situation that has turned interesting, to say the least. I don't regret it like at all. Like, amazing things have come from it. No regrets, period. But I'm talking about psychopaths because this person is definitely one. Period. This is a female that I'm dealing with right now. And for years I've seen her on Facebook being a mommy. She friended me supposedly because I was pregnant with Yaku, my most current small child. And I guess I was a single pregnant mom, and she was a single mom and wanting to be pregnant as a single mom. So I guess there was an appeal there for her that I had decided to bring forth this child and not abort it, and etc. Something to that effect. So she friended me, and she looked like a very wonderful human being, a great little mommy to her daughter that she had at the time. And we're gonna go over here. You make some tea for me. Let's see, this is so bad. I should do this before pushing play, but I didn't. So un momento, por favor. Clean the camera. Oh my God. Okay, so I have decided. Do I go there yet? No, let me finish a little more context of the story. So yeah, this female and I did not see eye to eye on everything, but you know, teaches, you know, we're not gonna all see eye to eye. It was all good. That has nothing to do with why I hang out with people. We did see a lot of things eye to eye. She's definitely dead wrong on a lot of stuff that was destructive and not great, but you know, she was young, so I'm like, okay, whatever, she's getting it, she'll figure it out with experience and time and whatever. We had a pretty decent amount of interaction with each other, and then all of a sudden she decided to get pregnant again, and she was having another baby as a single mommy. Oh my God, I just realized how much I've actually influenced this female's decision. That's why it's kind of dangerous to barf out crap on Facebook or whatever, because you are influencing real life people and their decisions. But she was already on the path to these decisions anyway, so it's not all my doing. I just probably empowered her, right? So that's definitely something for me to consider for the future. And I don't know. Y'all know I ain't gonna be quiet. But you gotta use your brains, right? And not make stupid decisions just because someone's... Like, I made the best of my pregnancy in that situation. I didn't have a choice. I had messed up and had sex and made a baby. So I was also inspired to go and do the things that led up to that unfolding. So I don't necessarily regret it, but it was it was really hard. And just because I can do something doesn't mean other people should do it. It doesn't mean I think it's a good idea that other people should do it. So I'm not telling other people to do what I do the way I do it. I'm telling people, follow your highest joy and do what you're inspired to do for yourself. So she did. She was inspired to do what she was doing for herself. So then, very seldom and brief times that she reached out to me for my wisdom and advice on particular things, because she's a very know-it-all person. Like, she thinks she knows everything, you know. So she's usually telling, not asking. So I don't judge that, because that's me too. I do that. I'm doing that right now. That's not necessarily indicative of psychopath unless I am one, because if I was one, I wouldn't know it, right? So, there was a time when she asked me how I fund my life, and I gave her all the things and ideas and told her what I was doing, that she could do it too. And then she was getting close to giving birth, and she was going to do an unassisted birth, and kind of reached out to me to like, hey, would you be a support, at least virtually, for when I give birth and so forth. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, like, hit me up, and da da da. Well, she went into labor, and I think she might have contacted me and been like, hey, I'm in labor, but then I didn't hear from her back, even though I hit her back a few times. And then I thought, well, I'm not going to bother her. You know, she's probably, doing her thing and gave birth and everything. Well, after a few days, she's like, I had my baby, here's my baby, but she like refused to tell the birth story. So I kind of assumed, even though I asked her, I'm like, so how'd the birth go? Tell me the story, and da-da. I assumed she probably, failed and ended up in the hospital, which is fine. It happens. It happened to me one time too. So no judgment, but I quit pushing her to tell me the story because she obviously didn't want to. And so then eventually, I'd see her post that she lost all this weight and her little babies, and she's breastfeeding both of them, and da-da-da, and all this stuff. She appeared to be a great mommy. And I was like, yay! And then at some point, I had all this jewelry, and I was too overwhelmed and unable to try to sell it myself. So I thought of this idea of like, I'll recruit other mommies to sell, and then it can benefit them and me. I've gotten $0 from that, by the way. So fine, whatever. But I had sent her some jewelry, and so that happened. And then all of a sudden, either before or after the jewelry, I don't remember. She, her mom, this is the story, she told that her mom, had gotten her aunt to sign a letter, along with, she signed it, saying that I almost said her name. I don't want to say her name. I ain't trying to call her out right now on this. So, personally. So, anyone that knows her story is going to know who I'm talking about anyways. The dog's name is Oracle. And so, they said that she was mentally ill and couldn't properly care for her children. Well, I at that point had been lied about, very aggressively lied about. I mean, that I didn't cook for my children. Like, dear Lord, I cook that. I grow that. I'm like the hen, that bitch that did everything, and then everyone else wanted to eat her bread, and she's like, fuck out of here. But I let them eat the bread, right? And so I was actually lied about, for real. And so that made me have a lot of compassion for her situation, and so of course I was an avid supporter of her and the possibility that she had been lied about, and I'd been in so much communication with her that I knew she was wrong about some topics, but that doesn't mean she's mentally ill and not able to take care of her kids, right? So I should have, maybe before deciding to have an opinion about it and protecting and defending her, come to hang out with her and got to know her very well before. And so, oops, sorry to her mother and people that got negatively affected by it, by me empowering her, because I found out that in fact she is mentally ill, and it's very highly likely that she was being, at least it was impeding her ability to be a great mom, and maybe even abusive to her kids. But she's definitely for sure abusive. I've been abused by her now. And people at my home who rent from me have also been abused by her, and it wasn't anything. Oh, you need to eat all your eggs and potatoes first. Eggs and potatoes first. So it wasn't like, oh, and my and some of my doggies were at least at minimum neglected by her, and people at the house described her as abusive to the dogs. So she could have ruined my dog business. If anyone that allows me to watch dogs seeing this, I'm sorry. I promise it'll never happen again. That deeply saddens me, and never know. I never imagined that she'd be an abuser to animals. But now that I look back, her posts don't ever mention anything about loving nature or animals, so Tell her. So, anyways, things I noticed, and now I'm gathering and putting together. And I didn't think that she was this innocent, saint, perfect person. So what ended up unfolding is she came to my house. I've given her money, a few $100, like actual, just give it to her money. I didn't intend to like necessarily give it to her like that, but she was fleeing. After she got her kids taken away, she had gotten them back. She was working on getting them back. But then they were going to take them from her for sure again, and permanently this time. So she fled with them. And then contacted me at some point about it, not asking me for anything. She was going to go to another friend's house, and I just told her she could, come to my house as an option as well. And then she had some sob story about not being able to cash this check, and I was telling her how she could cash it, but then she had these excuses. And I was like worried that she was going to get busted, and I wanted her to get her the F out of Dodge where she was at so she wouldn't get busted, and they would take her kids away, right? And so I sent her money, like $200, I think. And then the next morning, she's like, they found me, they took them. I don't even know if she had them. Like, I should have, like, send me a picture. Let's do a live video. Maybe she was just out there by herself. They'd already taken him and not, you know what I mean? Like, I have no idea. This where I was being stupid, not doing my due diligence. But I was just like, oh, fuck. Like, just heartbroken. Like, oh, man, I just wanted to, like, rescue these babies and this supposed victim money. And then she went back to home and was doing the visits, how she's allowed to do them, and well, at some point she just couldn't do it anymore. She was telling me it was too abusive. Like, she had to sit there and do her visits with her mom, and it was really tormenting her, and that she wasn't going to do it under their conditions anymore, and blah, 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 blah. And so I can't remember the sequence of events, but she ended up at my house, finally. This was like maybe 2 or 3 months after the supposed fleeing event. And so she seemed fine. She seemed kind of like a teenager, lazy, always wanted to be on her phone, messy, noisy at the wrong hours. But when I would ask her to, like, pipe it down, she would, whatever. Of course, everyone's always on their best behavior at first, so I did have that in mind. And, but I didn't hold any of the other stuff against her, I used to be really messy, and I was never, like, lazy or self-absorbed, but, like, I guess I wasn't messy. It was my kids that were messy, and I would have a hard time keeping up with it. But I was thinking I was messy. I don't know. I was being a little more compassionate than I needed to be, I guess. So then it was going to be her daughter's birthday, and she just, what was it? I don't remember. It seemed like I already knew that she kind of takes off at a whim, and maybe she'd already been at my house prior to that the time I'm talking about right now, or the birthday incident thing. Anyway, she'd just taken off, and she decided to just take off. She's like, hey, I'm done, out. And I was like, trying to find a way that, I help you, you help me kind of situation. So she was going to be like my nanny. It was for a minute, a little bit. So I put my own child in danger because of being stupid and not doing my own due diligence. Like, it's okay to help people, but not when you're putting your own child at risk. So anyways, I nipped it in the butt and figured it out in time to not have it be an actual detriment to my child, because of course she was on her best behavior, so she was very nice to him. Okay, the door's open, I think. It is open. Oh, hi, honey. What do you got on your nose, silly? So she left. And then next thing I know, I see like a few months later, she left and like no communication, which is kind of bizarre because like, you know, I'd helped her and I thought we were kind of like friends. But I was like, all right. I was kind of used to that before because when I'd sent her the money, it's like she got the money, the kids got taken, and then the end. No more communication. Like she wasn't like keeping me posted and like da-da, like a friend would. So that alone should have clued me in. And it did clue me in. Like I knew that she wasn't like perfect. So what? Who the frick is, you know? And I'm not saying this like, oh, I should have known the clues, so I wouldn't have done what I did. I did know the clues. I did notice them. I did recognize them, and I knew that behavior was bizarre. And so, like, she'd also contact me in distress, and then I'd respond to her, and I wouldn't hear from her for like a day or two. So that was bizarre, because if you're really in distress, why are you taking so long to get back at me, right? Well, it's probably because she'd gotten someone else to send her money, and she was good for now, and she'll get back at me when she needs more. Anyway, so she contacted me. I was like, oh, I'm in such and such place, and I'd been at this girl's house, and this big story about how this girl was trying to use her to get men, or something. She thinks she's really sexy and that she can get men, I guess. And that she was on the streets because she refused to help this other female. Oh, good.
I peed in.
Nice, perfect. So, you know, I believed her story. I didn't have any reason not to. She seemed like a normal human being when she was at my house. Like, I'd hang out with her for like a whole month. I didn't see any discrepancies, really, other than the ones I already mentioned. That's not really, I mean, it could be a warning sign, but it could just be a lazy person that doesn't mind living in filth. I don't know. Is what I was thinking. I give people a little bit too much of the benefit of the doubt. So I told her, I already knew at that point, I'm not going to give you more money, bitch. I already gave you $200. You need to figure shit out, get a job or some shit, right? But I was like, well, you know, if you need a place to stay, you can stay at my place. But you got to get yourself there. I don't have no money. I ain't going to give you money. And so she all of a sudden had enough money. Someone had given her enough money to get a flight and so forth. And she did find her way to my house. Oh, the first time she went to my house, the communication was so bizarre and sporadic. So it was almost like I didn't know if she was going to really show up or not. Like, it was so bizarre. And then all of a sudden she was there. So it's just not normal, because like if it was me in her situation, I'd be communicating with people wherever I'm going, like regularly. Yeah, like 2 more hours I'll be there, 6 more hours, 8, my ETA is 8, nothing. So that was bizarre behavior that I did notice, but I'm like, hey, you know, people are weird. I know people that I love that, you know, they're just not, they don't communicate like perfectly like I would. It's fine. Whatever. I ain't gonna try to control the way people, like, I'm a person who'll text you right back if I got your text. Pretty much. Or I'll be like, I'll get back to you, at least I'll let you know that. But she wouldn't do that, and I was like, all right. But my ex-husband wouldn't either. Well, he's a psychopath, D. Hello. So anyways, she made it, and her car was a disaster, and it was all crashed and shit, and it was just weird, but I knew she didn't have that much money, so I figured she probably just bought it for really cheap and whatever, and it runs, so I got her to where she needed to be. I ain't trying to judge, you know, and so she stayed at my house, and that's the time she took off. When it was her daughter's, supposedly it was her daughter's birthday, and she needed to get back here to her house. I mean, I'm at her house right now. I'm getting to that part of the story. And so, then I didn't hear from her. It's like total silence. I'm like, all right, whatever. Then I'm about to say freaking names and things again. I don't want to say any names right now. Then she was stranded at the place, and I told her to get to my house. So Sorry, I'm getting confused AF. And that's when she showed up there when I wasn't there. I was in California with my boyfriend husband thing. Pardonne-moi while I chew. This meal I made myself is on point. No wild food, but lots of fat, salt, yumminess. So at that point, I left my baby, who was 3 years old, with my mommy, and my mommy's 84. She's tired. So I thought, oh my gosh, I can milk like another few days or a week or whatever. I can leave him with my friend, because she seemed to be a great mommy, and like everything seemed great. She'd just been conned by this crazy mom of hers that was an abuser. And so it's not funny. I'm like freaked the heck out, and I'm pretty sure I'm never leaving my child with anyone ever again. Like anyone. Not even my mommy, unless I'm like there. Like I'll let her watch him while I'm taking a bath or something. Anyways, so oh, that tea's on point. Sorry about the eating noises. It's worth it, trust me. There's a lot of information on psychopaths in the story. And con artists. And mentally ill people. So, that worked out. And I'd already brought my baby to where I was at. So I just needed more break. I'm so tired. That's what happens when you get really too burned out, is you mess up and make bad decisions. So I milked a few more days, and then I went back because I had to have a visit with my boys. And I'd already noticed that she wasn't that attentive, or she wasn't like watching him like a hawk, which bothers me because I rent rooms to people and I don't necessarily know who these people are. Like, everyone presents their best foot forward, but they could be like nuts. I did rent to many nutty people, and everybody does. You can't avoid it. It's just the nature of the game. So, because I know that I watch my kids very closely, they're not allowed to be upstairs without me. They're not allowed to be anywhere without me. And it's not like I'm being paranoid or acting weird. It's just like, no, we gotta go downstairs. Go downstairs. Nope, we're going upstairs. Go upstairs. You're with me wherever I'm at. You're at. Period. That's the rules. Because maybe people are great and maybe they're not. And I'm not gonna take the risk. Not with my kids. So, I'd already noticed from the prior time that she wasn't doing that great of a job. Not according to my preference. And so, I didn't want to leave him with her too long. So I took him with me. And then the next time I came, I can't remember. I decided to leave him with her one more time for a week or whatever. And there was another discrepancy because she and I had agreed that she was going to watch him as an exchange for like room and board. And because she missed her kids and that, being with him maybe would fill the space a little bit, until she could get them back.
I'm scared.
Okay, I'm sorry. Ever since I've left him with her, he keeps saying he's scared. Not of necessarily her, but just in general, more than I've ever heard him say before. So that's really interesting. Anyways, so then she got the documents that supposedly she was waiting for to pick up her kids. And she had to suddenly leave. And I was like, no worries, I'll have my mommy come. She'll take over Yaku. Because she was like, I'll take Yaku with me. That's my child. I was like, oh crap, I said names. But you already know his name if you watch any of my other videos. And I was like, nah, I don't feel good. I didn't feel good about her taking him. I'm like, nah, you ain't taking him. Not over there with those crazy people, still babies. I was afraid of the people of this town and her mom, not of her. Like a dumbass. Well, I think that was her first time she would have kidnapped my child had I let her take him. Maybe. Speculating. Maybe not. So, she did get money out of me because even though we had agreed that I wasn't going to pay her anything, because she was saying we don't have any food. We need food. I'm like, oh, fuck. My child don't have food. So obviously I sent her then another $200 then, even though that was not the agreement. And that's what made me start getting suspicious about her. Having poor spending habits. Because I noticed that every time she would get money from somewhere, she'd go to fancy restaurants and buy herself a lot of shit. And she bought Yaku a bunch of stuff too. And it's not the first time someone's tried to steal my child. My boyfriend was like, she's gonna steal your kid, dude. And I was like, nah, she ain't gonna do that. She's a good person. But I was kind of like, oh, she's gonna steal my fucking kid too at the same time. But I didn't want to freak him out by being concerned. So I just kind of pretended like I wasn't, but I was a little bit. But I just figured I'm just gonna milk a few more days and then I won't have her watch him anymore. And that is what happened. And so she tried to take him, but I was like, no, I don't want you to take him. And so she came back to home. And of course, they did not give her kids. And because she is mentally ill. Her mom wasn't making it up. But I didn't know that still. I mean, I knew that she wasn't a great babysitter and she wasn't going to babysit my kid and that she was messy and, you know, these things, and she's terrible at communicating. But I didn't think she was a psychopath. She seemed very healthy otherwise. So then, and she was getting a lot of money from men and stuff. And at that point, I did know that she had slept with a married man and that's why she had the kids that she had. So she's basically like a sleep with a married men whore person. So then I picked up my child. He was with mommy for like a day or two. And me and my boyfriend stopped by the house, picked him up, picked up a few things, and we took off to here. Because I told her, I'm going to meet you at your house and help you clean your house. Because that was the exchange. It's like, you watch my kid for a few days and I'll come and help you clean your house. And so then another bizarre thing happened. Ish. You know, kind of had an explanation, but it was kind of bizarre. She's like, oh, I'm on my way to wherever because I'm going to go hang out with my boyfriend. She'd gotten herself a boyfriend. And I was like, yay, because I wanted her to be happy with a boyfriend like I was. And I said, but dude, like I have a ride and I can't drive my car. It's too far and my car could break down and I'm stressed out about that. And the gas is going to be like astronomical and da-da. I have a ride. And so I can come now. I'm like, can I get in your house? Is there a way for me to be able to get in your house? Like, can I break a window or something? Just let me get in. I'll get started. While you're with my boyfriend, I'm like, I don't need you to be there. I know how to clean. I'm 44 years old. So she's like, yeah. She's like, it's an extremely tiny town. There's like no crime besides her, apparently. And she's like, the back door is open in my garage. And you can get in through there. So I'm, all right. I pack up my crap. It's in the middle of the night. Me and my boyfriend head towards here. And then we almost die because the road was super icy, which has nothing to do with her, but that was just fun. There's like a semi next to us and the car starts doing this and I'm trying to correct it, you know, like the best of my ability, not overcorrect or anything, like, and it was just fucking nightmare. He wakes up and anyways, he saved the day, but we still got off the road and could have died, but didn't. So anyways, the point is we get here it's super late at night and it's like pitch black everywhere. And he's like, dude, she's sending you to the middle of nothing. And what am I going to do with you? I can't take you home. And I'm like, don't worry about it. If it ends up being a scam, then, because he was worried the whole time that she was scamming me. And he was right, but but I don't regret it. It was a really good experience. And I made her house really cute. And I love making cute things, so it was win-win. But
Mommy. I'm stuck on the car.
okay, but I'm doing a video. Can you enjoy your game and let me talk? He has a really cute game going on over there.
Oh, look.
I love it. This is really cute. Super cute. Love it. So, we did finally, I said, let's just go to the address. It's a little town. She said it's a little town, so of course it's black. In a minute, please.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, let's just get to the blue dot, or that dot, or whatever color dot is where it's taking us. Right? And we get here and we pull up to an actual house. I'm like, holy shit, the bitch got a house.
Mommy.
And this is real. And we go to the back door, just like she said, it was unlocked. I love it. And so then we come in and it's like, oh my God, this is so messy. There's like fast food garbage everywhere and like, you know, shit she'd purchased, and of course toys and clothes. And then upstairs there was all this cat poop and pus. I didn't think it was that bad, but then I got into it more and I was like, oh, there's more. So I wanted my boyfriend to stay and rest for a minute, but he doesn't like gross messes, and there's no way. He was like, no, that was way too disgusting. I was not even going to be able to sleep in there anyways. So he took off right away, and I was like, I want to cuddle with him one more time. I didn't get to cuddle with him still to this day again, yet. But anyways, so I'm just like, I can't live in this filth either. So even though she and I hadn't come, I told her, let me go there. Okay, she had told me that her house payment was behind and they were about to repossess the house. And if they're going to take the house, there's no point in me cleaning it. We also discussed the possibility of turning it into a business. I said, I'll help you. I already know how to do this shit, bitch. I'm like the pro at that shit. And so I said, just let me get there. I'll assess the situation. I was ultimately for sure coming here to help her clean her house. And I guess if it was going to get repossessed, but I was like, if we can make a lot of money, like I'm willing to fork out the cash to have it not repoed. But I didn't want to make any promises until I saw it. So I come and I see it and I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm going to make sure you don't get your house taken away. I'll pay the payment. I'll take all the money I have right now and pay it. And so I just started cleaning before she and I really had like a solid agreement. So a few days into cleaning, like 4 or 5 or something, and just before I was going to make her a payment, or was it after? I have to look at the dates, but I think it was before. I came up with an agreement. I was like, okay, this is what I'm proposing. Since I'm doing all the investment and all the work, and you're doing nothing other than being a homeowner, and I propose I get 75% and you get 25%. Because with my 75%, I'm covering all the bills, including when there's no business coming in. She told me there's not going to be any business in winter. And so I thought that was more than fair. Well, she didn't agree with that. She wanted it to be 50-50, and she said the least I'll settle for is 35 or 40. I was like, you know, okay, but like that's not really fair if I'm going to be paying all the bills. So in the event that you're getting more, then you need to help me pay the bills with your percentage. And she didn't really like that idea either. So then I came up with a third plan of, what was it? She get 35, I get 45, and then we put 20% in a savings account to pay the bills and make the repairs and improvements of the house with. So we both felt very comfortable with that. And we're like, yes, that's what we're doing. So I'm going to do all the work. I'm going to invest the initial money. I'm turning this into a business. And then once business comes through, that's how we're going to split it up. And I should have said I get paid back all the money that I've put in. Then we split it up like that, but I didn't. I forget to think of every goddamn detail. But it was fine. I would have got my money back eventually had it unfolded that way. So we're like, boom, deal, plan, doing it. And for some reason, I felt kind of like hesitant to show her the progress I was making, but I kind of felt like it was normal. Why wouldn't I? Like, we're business partners. She's gonna want to see what I'm doing. So I started sharing with her like everything that I was doing, and of course, I was always posting it on Facebook because I like what I did that day. I want to share it. And so it was very bizarre that she would never tell me like thank you for what you've done for me ever. Not even the other times when I'd given her money and given her a place to stay or nothing. Like, it was all just very bizarre. So I'm here with my child, busting my butt for her, with no guarantee that I'm going to get anything. Because she could change her mind at any minute and tell me to F off, and that's it, right? So then my boyfriend, he's like, I don't know, you need something or other because she's going to rip you off. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. I didn't do this to try to make money off of her. I did this for a business. So then, I kind of like brought it up, and then, and then I remembered that I was like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, because she was like, I need to get this much percentage because I just gave up my house. So if I give my kids back, I need to have a house to be able to live with them, and I need to have enough money to be able to pay for it, right? And I was like, that makes sense, yeah. And then I said, well, actually, wait a minute, like, if you get your kids back tomorrow, then deal is off. We're not doing a business. I'm cleaning the house so you can get your kids back and live here with your kids, obviously. Like, that was my original intent. So I was like, don't sweat it. And like, as far as the money I put into it, you can pay me back when you get your millions of dollars from the settlement. Not that I believed her about that, but that's what she was claiming. She was claiming that because of the damages done to her by these people that lied to take her kids away, then she was going to be awarded millions of dollars. So then I was like, if that's even true, which I didn't really believe it was, it seemed far-fetched, but whatever, I ain't going to argue with her, then you can give me back, a few $1,000s or whatever for my time and money. And so I was like, yeah, don't worry about it. But in the event that I'm able to turn this into a business and you don't move into this house, then we'll split it in that way. That was fair. We both agreed. Boom, agreement. So I proceeded with more confidence, but really still not. There was no legal binding actual contract. And even when you have a legal binding contract, you have to take it to court yourself. It's not like the cops do it for you. You know what I mean? They don't give a shit that you got ripped off on a contract. Like, you have to pursue it still. So anyways, contract or not, the whole thing's a joke. So then she started having some discrepancies. She had problems with the boyfriend within like 2 days. And her description was that he tried to sleep with her and she didn't want to sleep with him until he'd invested in her, which may or may not even be true. At this point, I don't believe nothing she said. And she was going to come back here to where I'm at. I didn't want her here because I have to go through all her crap, and it makes me really uncomfortable to go through people's crap when they're there because they get really weird and like possessed with their stuff, and they don't want to throw away garbage. And I was worried about that because obviously, like, there's not mental wellness. Like, she obviously had like hoarding, live in filth, disgusting disorder or something at minimum. And I figured she was just depressed because she got her kids taken away. Like, that makes sense, right? Like, I mean, I didn't live in filth when I got my kids derailed on me and whatever. They didn't get taken away, but they were abusing me and crazy shit. And eventually I had to give them away because they were intolerable and abusing me. But I wasn't living in filth for months on end, but there was a few days, right, while I had to recuperate till I could start cleaning or whatever. But usually I'd start cleaning right away, and that was the distraction from me feeling bad. So I guess I was, again, being too compassionate and understanding. But then she messaged me, and she's like, is it better if I go there or Utah? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm so stupid. Like, obviously you're going to be safer in Utah. You're not going to be safe here. And besides, I didn't want her here because I want to be able to clean everything without her tripping on me. Not that she would have, but I just didn't know, right? So I said, yeah, Utah. Go to Utah. And she's like, well, $200 get me there. And I'm like, I don't know. Just go as far as you can. And if I have to, I'll give you some money. Well, of course, she ran out of money. Of course, it wasn't enough. She's like, oh, I have $45. Will it get me 80 miles or whatever it was? And I was like, I don't think so, dude. So I'm just going to send you some money. Plus, she had left some food at my house, and I ate that food. Obviously, I didn't want it to go to waste, so I'm going to eat it. I guess it's not obvious, but that's the kind of person I am. I don't like to waste, so I ate it. And then, so I sent her $100. I said, here's the, to replace the bacon and the meat that I ate. So you have some food, and then enough you need to get gas to get there. And I told everyone at the house she's going to be there, Well, she showed up. Well, she had no money. She has no income, no job. So I offered that if I was paying someone to clean my house, $150 a month. And then I had my dog business. So I offered that she clean my house for the $150. And then I did tutorial videos to show her how to clean, because obviously she didn't know how to clean. Her house is a mess. I'm like, it's really easy to clean, actually. Let me show you how. She's like, damn, I didn't realize it could be so easy. She's like, before I would clean, I'd be so exhausted. I didn't want to clean again for like months. I'm like, I know. I used to do that too. Like, I totally get it. No judgment. But then I learned this stuff. So here you go. And be cleaning efficiently, quickly, so you don't get exhausted. And I guess she did it. I don't know. But I did end up sending her another $75, I think. Because one time she was like, I want to go get water, but I don't have any money. I can't remember, and whatever. And I sent her $25 because I didn't have money. So all I could send her was a little bit. And then I can't remember what other, food, lack of money story. So I gave her another $50 or something. So I paid her for the full month. And she didn't even stay for the full month. Because after like a week or something, I guess she got anxious and wanted to get the F out of there and didn't want to clean my house because she hates cleaning, obviously. So she told me that it was time for her to go file the federal papers and she needed to hurry and do it before the year because then she won't be able to do it. She doesn't hurry and do it, which may or may not be true, I don't know. But she needed money for gas. And since she was going to come, I was really overwhelmed because I was doing all this cleaning while my child needed me constantly. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted taking care of this baby and doing all this shit and blah, blah. And so I was like, why don't you come pick up Yaku and take him back to Utah? You go file the federal papers, you come pick him up and you take him to Utah. And again, even though after I already had some discrepancies, I was doing it because I was so tired. My brain wasn't functioning. So I tell people sleep is so vital and being fully satiated. Sorry, I imagine that sipping is just so annoying. And that one. So I didn't have money. She didn't have money. So I was like, honey, we don't have money for gas. But I got these people that asked if I could watch their dog. Do you want to watch the dog? You can have the money from it. So that was just a one-nighter. And then the next day, I had one of my regular customers ask me if I could watch her 2 dogs for a week. I was like, oh, that's like, or 5 days. It was 5 days. I was like, that's like $250. Boom. That's enough money for her to get gas to come and go. But I'm like, that bitch not gonna spend. She's gonna have enough gas to get here from that if I give her all that money, because she's gonna go out to eat and buy herself shit and whatever. I already knew that. I was like, oh fuck. But I couldn't like come up with something that wouldn't piss her off to not give her the full amount of money in the event that she did want to watch the dogs. So I was like, whatever. I ain't gonna worry about that. It's still the money. So I asked her if she wanted to do it. And she said yes. So the dogs get delivered to her. Well, first of all, the first dog got delivered to her, and her ass wasn't answering the phone. Like, her ass was still asleep and the dog's outside waiting. I'm like, bitch, that is so irresponsible and not how you run a business. So that was annoying. And then, but I got her up in the nick of time. I was like texting all my roommates, like, go wake that bitch up, my dog there, you know. It's my business, my reputation, it's my rating, right? So I'm on that shit like Donkey Kong. How do you say it? I try to pretend civilized human, but I have no idea what I'm talking about. And so she watched that dog and she was taking him to dog park, seemed like she was doing great. And then after she thought the dog was gonna get picked up that night, I'm like, honey, it's a 24-hour. Like, they're gonna pick him up tomorrow, ding dong. The next day she was tired of the bitch. I don't judge that either. I get tired of the little assholes too. I still love them and I'm nice when I take them, but I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. So, then that dog got picked up and the 2 other dogs got dropped off. And she didn't follow my instructions of keeping my roommate's dogs away. They were trying to get the dogs to get along. I'm like, you don't understand. These bitches ain't gonna get along with the dogs because they're just used to being together by them, just the 2 of them. And so anyway, she ended up getting bit and then she threw a fit. Probably because she was tired, because she was up all night on Facebook or whatever. I'm gonna ignore that call. I'm so glad my thing didn't get interrupted. So she threw a fit. Said the owner needs to come pick up these dogs right now. These are brats and spoiled and da-da, and then I'm like, no shit, bitch. Dog's gonna bite you. You know how many times the same dog bit me? I don't care. It's my job to keep them safe and happy. Mostly safe, you know. It's the name of the game. You're gonna get bit. You're a dog sitter, dumbass. But she was throwing a fit and she wouldn't listen to me and she screamed and yelled at me like an abusive psychopath. And I was like, oh, apparently we can't have a conversation right now. So I just shut up because I was trying to see if we could work it out, not with her, but like, oh, maybe there's someone else in the house that would be wanting and willing because I don't want to let down my customer until mommy can get there. Because my 84-year-old mommy's watched these dogs. So like, this bitch, 30-something, can't watch dogs. Like, no offense. But it's because she's lazy and she's a spoiled brat. So she insisted the dogs get picked up, so I bothered my customer. I was like, I'm profoundly sorry, but this is a situation, I'm not there, and you need to go pick up the dogs. So she comes and picks up the dogs, and between then, oh, and I already had my mommy coming to help my friend because my friend was already whining and bitching about having to actually work. Something she apparently never had to do before. And so mommy was already on her way. And so I told my customer, my mom's on her way and she'll be there tomorrow and she can watch the dogs for these days, maybe just during the day. So you could drop them off and pick them up every day, if that's interesting to you. Because my roommate, I was calling her my business partner just to make it sound more legit. She doesn't want to watch them. That's fine. But then of course my friend realized, oh crap, that's my gas money. I have to watch these dogs whether I want them or not. So she changed her mind and my customer brought the dogs back. And luckily was super cool about it and apologetic and taking the way my friend presented it to my customer, that it was all her dog's fault, which is bullshit. It was her fault for not following my instructions. Anyways, then she was mad that my mommy was there because she's going to have to split the money with my mom. I said, you're not going to have to split the money with my mom. I'll give my mom $40. She'll be fine. But she's there to help you so you don't lose your mind on my dogs again, bitch. Well, anyways, my mommy was there and that was definitely great. But then mommy went home and she lost her mind on one of my roommates, renters. And then she left the dogs in the backyard and disappeared and was supposedly stranded. I think it's all lies. And left them in the backyard for hours on end, unattended. They could have gotten lost and dug their way out of the yard. Like, the bitch could have ruined my business. My bad, right, for trusting her and for being so nice to her, but it was what it was. And I'm over here busting my butt cleaning the house. She can't even tell me thank you. And then she is on her way here, and I have really bad service here. Yaku, can you be a little bit more quiet, please? I'm almost done. This is taking so long. This is the story. So she messaged me in the middle of the night or whatever it was, because I didn't get the message till the next morning, that she's like, I'm stranded in Nebraska for the most annoying reason or something. She was probably just trying to get more money out of me, because the dumb bitch went to like fancy restaurant and spent the $250. Like, if it would have been me, I would have been cooking out of the back of my car, you know, being super frugal. Da-da. Nope, not this bitch. So then I messaged her back and I just said, why? I was not going to give her more money. Like, you're stupid with your money, then you're going to have to figure it out. I'm not giving you money. Like, I gave her money she earned. I ain't giving her money out of my money anymore. I'd already invested enough, because I made her back house payment, which was over $1,000, and then bought supplies to make this into a business, which was near $1,000 of supplies. Plus, you know, a bunch of hours. I haven't even added them up, but over 100 hours of working my ass off to clean her disgusting mess, because she's a lazy pig. I realized she's not a distraught mom, because I realized she never even cried one time ever in front of me about her kids. If you lost your kids the way she claimed she lost her kids, you would be sobbing constantly. I didn't even lose my kids and I sob. That they're primarily with this asshole psychopath being tortured and hardwired to being abusers right now. And it bothers me. It makes me cry a lot. Not a lot, but, you know, from time to time. Anyways, so I said why or something, and she never responded. And like a day or two later, she messages me, would you like to buy my house? And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't qualify for a loan, but if it's possible, like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, I just want to live here more than anything. But that wasn't our original agreement. But I guess I could, you know, modify plans, and I could still, you know, do my dog business out of here, and like, there's possibilities. So I was like, yeah, sure, maybe, I guess. Let's see if it can happen. I said, depends on the details. Like, I'm not gonna get ripped off. I'll buy it for fair market value, according to what it looked like when I got here, not the value I've given it by doing the work I've done. And then she was like, oh, okay, through my lender, we could probably be done for sure. And then I hear nothing back from her for like 2 days or whatever. And then she messaged me back and says, are you gonna have enough money from your renters to cover the bills of my house? And I was like, yeah, I'll figure it out. When is it due? For how much? And where do I go to pay this stuff? And then I can't remember, I'd have to look at the text, but basically she wanted me to send her money to pay the bills because it's her house. And I said, but it's my money. And I already know she has really bad spending habits of pretending she has money she don't have. And I said, I only feel comfortable paying it myself. And she was like, why? I was like, just my intuition tells me that's what's best. And she's like, well, my intuition tells me it's my house, and you need to send me the money and I'll pay my own bills. And the bitch was trying to tell me how to run my dog business and my renting business. She blew up and freaked out at my renter after she blew up and freaked out at me. And she was really pissed off that I was going to have my mommy collect my rent instead of her. I think she wanted to collect it and steal it. So thank goodness I followed my guidance on those things. And then I'd also told her, I don't actually want you to take Yaku to Utah. I want you to come here and you can help me watch him while I clean. That's what I feel comfortable with. He's my child, he needs to be around me. But yeah, she'd already showed me that she's nutty, so I was not going to let her take my child. So she said I need to get $550 by May 1st, or
And that's the one.
she didn't say or, she just said period, end of story. And I said, okay, well, I'll cut my losses then, and I'm out of here. And then I tried to find a mediary. Like, I tried to get a hold of her realtor to see if I could pay them and they would pay the bills, and then we'd give them a fee for helping us out, because I didn't trust her, right? And they have not contacted me back. And then I was thinking, I'll just stay, because, you know, I have legal rights that I can stay. But then I realized she has the power to turn off the utilities on me. So I can't be here running a business and then suddenly have the power go off or whatever. So then I, at that point, had the blessing of, I had a booking for the room that I set up for her in my business, right? Our business. That business deal was off at that point because she was insisting that I was renting her house and that I need to give her this money by May 1st. And I said, no, I'm not renting your house. That was never our agreement. And if she would have been reasonable and talked to me, I would have said, if you are saying you want to now rent me the house instead of do the business together, I can consider that, but I need to know what you're wanting as rent, and I don't trust you to pay the bills. So I will happily do it through a realtor or some agent like that, not through you, period. But since I told her I'll cut my losses and I'll just leave, and she just said, okay.
Shut, dog.
She didn't go like, dude, you've invested all this time and money, like, what the hell, like, no, we can work it out, nothing. She was just totally fine with the fact that I'd invested all this time and money and that she wasn't going to give me any of it back or offer nothing. Like, I'm here helping her either clean her house so she can live here with her kids, or to build a business so that she can feed her kids when she gets them back. So because of her decisions, I was trying to find a ride out of here, and I could find nothing online of buses leaving or coming. So I was walking around the neighborhood talking to people, and one of the neighbors that was out, I said, hey, like, do you know a bus or any way I can get out of here? And he's like, nope. It's just if you have a car, you can drive away, but there's no buses, no shuttles, nothing. And I was like, so then he told me to go to the city. The lady at the city told me there's no buses, go on this chat group, maybe you can get someone to give you a ride, Then I realized, after discussing with my boyfriend, so on and so forth, that like maybe I can get the utilities put in my name, So then I went back to the city to talk to them about how much is owed and if I can get it put in my name. And that's when I talked to the lady about whose house I'm in and what I've been going through, and she said that same girl abused me too, and that she did get her kids taken away because she's mentally ill and abusive, and I already knew that at that point, and that she is not getting her kids back. They're going to be adopted out, period. It doesn't matter how many filings she does, and that she's an abuser whore that goes around fucking married men. In this tiny town that's a radius of like jack shit.
I need to cut this off.
So they cannot stand
I
her.
need to cut this.
Okay, go find the scissors. And so this lady was very sweet and helpful, and she told me it doesn't matter if you put the utilities in your name, it's her house, so she can get them shut off anyways.
One's in there.
So at that point, I had already gotten a ride out of here because I booked the room, and the lady that booked the room,
Mom's in there.
I think also by a blessing, because this bitch gonna show up
I
here
don't
any
like
minute.
that scissor.
This is the only one I can find, sorry.
I want the tiny one.
Can I do it?
No.
Okay, you do it then. I don't know where the tiny one is. I can't find it. So her stay got cut short by 6 days, almost an entire week. Right when I realized, oh, you're not listening to me. Let's go put you in timeout. No screaming. No screaming. Please use these scissors. You can use these. Look. Look. They work just the same as the tiny ones.
I want to do it again.
Yeah, but they're not in here. See? They're gone. I don't know where I put them. I lost them. Maybe they're in the sink or the drawer. I realized that the girl's mentally unstable and I'm not safe to stay here. At minimum, I won't have power and I can't run a business that way and I can't be here with my child that way. And the police and law is totally on my side. They told me if she shows up here to call them immediately and they will arrest her. But I'm not going to be here without power and electricity and so forth. I mean, gas and services. So,
Mom, I didn't find out.
okay, we'll use these ones.
Someone.
So the lady that rented graciously
Mama,
wants
that's
to help
open.
me get me to the airport. Blessings, like, oh my God, one after the other is so amazing. And I found out there's another lady that's cleaned this girl's house. And in the sequence of events of her insisting that I'm renting from her, she told me that, she accused me that I'm going to try to steal her house. I was like, wow, like I'm here helping her and she's accusing me of trying to steal her house. Like, she kept saying things like, are these people going to try to rape me? And she insists that like all the children are trying to be raped and put in the sex trade and other nutty things. And so I'm like, oh, I just cleaned your house and it's beautiful now. Oh, she also told me, I didn't realize it would be so easy to like clean my house and build this business. It's like, well, it wasn't easy. I worked my butt off. And I told her, I said, oh, it wasn't easy, honey. This is very hard. I mean, it's really easy when someone else is cleaning your house, but when you have to do it, it's hard. And when you have to treat people kindly and lovingly, that's the only way you can run a business. Like, people hire me because I'm kind, I'm loving, and I'm reasonable. And I speak to them with respect and kindness, and I work with them, and I keep my word. So I guess she thinks that she's, now that I've done all the work, she's going to swoop